What are some of your hobbies that you've been getting into recently that are low cost or very easy to get into? I don't want to devote a whole lot of money to them because I don't know if I'll actually like them. My favorite hobby to do is actually going scrapping, but I only like to do it whenever I am visiting my parents and I am back home. It's kind of something that I just mostly do with my mom, though I'm looking for other kinds of hobbies too. This hobby, it's one of my favorite things to do. Sometimes it's just you don't really find a whole bunch of stuff, and that's totally okay too. I would say that arguably with the economy being what it is these days, we have definitely stopped getting quite as much stuff. We've definitely stopped going out to go scrapping as much. Whenever we do go though, it's still a whole lot of fun. I really like seeing different kinds of ways that people are throwing out their trash, honestly. Bulky trash items are really good to look through and kind of pick and choose which ones you want. I really like it around the post-holiday period because they tend to have a lot of different kinds of trash like that, and wires and stuff are really great because you can strip them and you can get the copper. I have definitely reused some pieces of trash that I've gotten from like scrapping and stuff, and you can always find a reason or a person who might need to use it. One man's trash is another man's treasure, as I love to say, and that is definitely the case with all these different kinds of scrapping. I think that looking into a person's lifestyle via their trash is also really interesting. I feel like I say that so much, but it genuinely is. You know, you can tell so much about a person based off of like how they organize their trash and what kind of things that they're throwing out. Recently broke one of my jars that I drink out of, and I'm so upset about it because I was like trying to make ice, and I saw that online you can make ice in a jar, but I think that I must have been lied to, or maybe I didn't do it right. I don't know what it was, but unfortunately my jar did break and I just had to deal with all this glass. I don't know where to put the remnants of my glass jar. People say to recycle them, but I don't think my apartment complex lets you recycle them. I think that there's like a recycling center near me, and I think that I'm just gonna try to take all of the old bottles and stuff that I have that don't go into my recycling because my apartment doesn't let me recycle those kinds of things, and try to give it to them or see if there's any other place that I can dispose of those, because I don't like to throw stuff out. I don't tend to throw anything out unless I absolutely need to. If I have food waste, I put it in my compost. If I have paper waste, I either make it into paper mache and turn it into coasters that I then give out to people as just like, hey, take a coaster, or other kinds of art projects like that. If I have cans and stuff, I will always recycle them. Glass jars though, I don't know what to do. I do know that some people take like glass jars and make them into art. I am a very clumsy person though. I've spoken about this before on my channel, but I have definitely accidentally broken jars just by like literally opening my fridge in the past. So I don't know if I am capable of making glass jar art or glass art in general, but that is something that I'm also looking into. Whenever I go out scrapping, I always see one or two houses having glass jars and stuff, and I have noticed that not a lot of people are recycling them, which makes me think that maybe glass jars aren't even recyclable, but every single glass jar I've ever seen literally says that you can recycle them, so I don't know what's going on with that. Let me know what you do with your old glass jars and stuff, unless you actually reuse them, in which case, mourn with me the loss of my glass jar. I really like taking little pliers and stuff with me whenever we go out scrapping. You can find so many different needs for pliers that I will not leave my house to go scrapping unless we have my pliers. And recently I actually invested, and I actually got one of those big pliers, and it has been so good. With the little pliers, it's so difficult to actually be able to cut through copper wire and stuff. Maybe I'm just weak. Maybe that's my issue, but it has just been such a battle being able to cut it. It's like for each one, it takes at least 30 seconds, sometimes a little bit longer, in order to cut through them. But with this new one that I got, it's like one of those giant ones. It's honestly longer than my arm. Cutting piece of it is very powerful. I can literally just open and close it, and it cuts any wire that I need it to. I also use it whenever I'm scrapping and like need to cut some other like bronze or brass or like hoses, anything like that. If you are interested in this hobby, I would 100% recommend that you get something along those lines, because it is just, it's worth its weight in copper wiring. Another thing that I have noticed a lot of people throwing out in my neighborhood has been different kinds of lawn care items. Honestly, I think that it's mostly because like a lot of people are trying to just upgrade right now, maybe get into electric items as opposed to using a gas item. I mean, we have all seen those gas prices, so I think that that's like a big reason. I've also noticed quite a lot of people throwing out their old like lawn mowers too and investing in like electric ones. So I really do think that it's because of like the gas prices right now, because nobody can afford it. I tend to take the leaf blowers and the edgers and the smaller equipment, but for the big bulky items like an actual push mower, we tend to leave those behind because they are very heavy to take, one, and two, they don't tend to actually get accepted by the scrapyard that my mom and I visit. I don't remember the exact reason, but I think it was something along the lines of it's storing gasoline and they don't want to deal with that. We sell them at the yard sale too, which is totally good. Anything that we sell at the yard sale is under $1. Most of the time it's under 50 cents too. I really enjoy being able to sell back the things that we get, or, you know, just give it away for free, because I have done that with quite a few of the items that I have scrapped and then later put up for sale at the yard sale. Whenever my parents do a yard sale, everything that I sell that we get from scrapping actually ends up going really, really quickly. I think it's because I do price things fairly competitively. I have never sold anything that we've gotten from scrapping for more than $1, and the average cost of the items that I end up selling that we scrapped ends up being like a quarter or so. It's really just I basically give them away. If somebody asks for one of the items that I put up for sale for free, I will totally just give it to them for free because I got it for free, and I don't really want to charge too much money for anything that I essentially got out of the garbage, really. So I really like being able to just sell that stuff. It is helpful for the community because it goes back to the community, and if somebody can reuse the stuff that we're getting, that is all the better. Like, even selling it to a scrapyard ends up most of the time with whatever item getting processed and then getting shipped off to like Asia for getting eventually thrown out, or like, you know, in the rare cases for like metals and stuff, I'm sure that they actually do reuse it. For me, if somebody can actually use the item that we scrap, that is all the better, and I will 100% always advocate for being able to give it to somebody to reuse. You know, the old adage, reduce, reuse, and recycle. Reuse actually comes before recycle for a reason. Did you know that? That is something that I actually didn't know, but I recently learned. The reduce, reuse, recycle is like the order of importance. You should of course reduce your usage of these things first and foremost, but if you absolutely have to use these things, you should reuse them whenever possible, and only when you can't reuse them or you can't find somebody else who can reuse them should you actually recycle the material. One of the most interesting facts that I've picked up over the years is that like 90% of the things that we end up throwing in the recycling doesn't actually get recycled. Mostly it's just something that people do to like feel good about themselves, which I totally do understand, but ever since I learned that, I have kind of gotten on board with just trying to reduce my usage or reusing everything that I can. Drop down below some of the ways that you reduce your usage of things or you reuse things. I'm always interested in learning about how other people are dealing with all of this excess waste. That is all for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you watched this far, comment with a trash can emoji down below. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.